Mantras of our Divine Mother. Our Divine Mother says the road to the Divine is always long, often dry in appearance, but always abundant in its results, with always our love and blessings, says our Divine Mother. Sri Aurobindo's Savitri, Book 1, Canto 3, The Yoga of the King, the Yoga of the Soul's Release. A presence wrought behind the ambiguous screen. Then came the abrupt, transcendent miracle. The masked, immaculate grandeur could outline at trivial in the occult womb of life his dreamed magnificence of things to be. A crown of the architecture of the worlds, a mystery of married earth and heaven, annexed divinity to the mortal scheme. Darshan Day Messages, 24th November 1933, Siddhi Day. Our Divine Mother gave the message: if we allow a falsehood, however small it may be, to find expression through our mouth or our pen, how can we hope to become the perfect messengers of the truth? The perfect servant of the truth must abstain from even the slightest inexactitude, exaggeration, or deformation. Words of our Divine Mother and her Lord Sri Aurobindo, taken from the compilations book A Practical Guide to Integral Yoga. Topic: Life's Goal. Our Divine Mother says the ascent to the divine life is the human journey, the work of works, the acceptable sacrifice. This alone is man's real business in the world and the justification of his existence, without which he would only be an insect crawling among other ephemeral insects on a speck of surface mud and water which has managed to form itself amid the appalling immensities of the physical universe. Whoever clings to desires and weaknesses of the flesh, the cravings and passions of the vital, in its turbulent ignorance, the dictates of his personal mind, unsilenced and unillumined by a greater knowledge, cannot find the true inner law and is heaping obstacles in the way of the divine fulfillment. Whoever is able to detect and renounce those obscuring agencies and to discern and follow the true guide within and without will discover the spiritual law and reach the goal of integral yoga. The divine life and the transformation of the lower human into a higher divine nature must be made the sole aim of all the life. No attachment, desire, or habit of the mind, heart, vital being, or body should be clung to which come in the way of this one aspiration and one object of life. One must be ready to renounce all these completely as soon as the demand comes from above and the divine Shakti. First, the consciousness must be transformed, then life, then the forms. It is in this order that the new creation will happen. All nature's activity is, in fact, a progressive return towards the supreme reality, which is at once the origin and the goal of the universe in its totality as well as in its smallest element. We have to become concretely what we are essentially. We must live integrally the truth, the beauty, the power, and the perfection hidden in the depth of our being. It is then that all life will become the expression of the sublime, eternal, divine joy. Our Divine Mother says some give their soul to the divine, some their life, some offer their work, some their money. A few consecrate all of themselves and all they have, soul, life, work, wealth. These are the true children of God. Others give nothing. These, whatever their position, power, and riches, are for the divine purpose valueless ciphers. The adverse powers are the forces and beings that are interested in maintaining the falsehood they have created in the world of the ignorance and in putting them forward as the truth which men must follow. In India, they are termed asuras, rakshasas, pisachas, who are in opposition to the gods, the powers of light. These too are powers, for they too have their cosmic field in which they exercise their function and authority, and some of them were once divine powers who have fallen towards the darkness by revolt against the divine will behind the cosmos. Our Lord Aurobindo says, as for the mother and myself, we have had to try all the ways, follow all methods to surmount mountains of difficulties, a far heavier burden to bear than you or anybody else in the ashram or outside, far more difficult conditions, battles to fight, wounds to endure, ways to cleave, through impenetrable morass and desert and forest, hostile masses to conquer, a work such as I am certain none else had to do before us. For the leader of the way in a work like ours has not only to bring down or represent and embody the divine, but to represent too the ascending element in humanity and to bear the burden of humanity to the full and experience, not in a mere play or Neela, but in grim earnest, all obstruction, difficulty, opposition, baffled, hampered, and only slowly victorious labor which are possible on the path. It is because we have the complete experience that we can show a straighter and easier road to others if they only consent to take it. It is because of our experience, won at a tremendous price, that we can urge it upon you and others, says our Lord Aurobindo. Next topic, the last decisive battle between the Asuric and the divine forces in 1955. Our Divine Mother says, I foresee that the coming year will be a difficult year. There will be much inner struggle and much outer struggle too. So I shall tell you of the attitude you must take in such circumstances. Indeed, the more things become difficult, the quieter you should remain, the more unshakable faith you should have. When difficulties come, human beings usually get agitated, excited, nervous, and so to make the difficulties hundredfold more difficult. The difficulties may last perhaps more than the 12 months of the year, it may extend to 14 months. It is in the nature of things. The nature of the struggle determines the measure of its duration. The forces must come up to a certain pitch of activity to produce a certain result. We make use of time in the measure of our small human duration, but naturally divine forces have not the same measure as we have, and they may appear to us too long or too uncertain. For the divine, however, that is the shortest way, in spite of everything, to the goal aimed at. The goal is the fulfillment of the divine will, whatever it is. Given the circumstances, the divine always takes the shortest way, although they may seem to us the longest or tortuous and uncertain, because we do not see the whole. We just see a little fragment which is according to our proportion. Our vision is narrow, narrow with regard to what is behind, narrow with regard to what is ahead. Man's vision is limited. He cannot see very much beyond his nose. Human vision is linear, that is to say, things present themselves to it one after another in a line. Divine vision is different. It is total, global. It looks at the problem integrally, that is to say, from all sides in the round, not from one side or at one point. The supreme vision takes in all sides, aspects at a glance, not only on the surface but in the depth too. It embraces all the elements of the question and resolves the question without neglecting any of the points involved in it. Man, on the contrary, follows a straight line. Anything that is not the straight line escapes his notice, and if it were left to his choice, these other things would not get done. The divine sway, says our Divine Mother, is circular, and yet it is the most direct. The adverse forces have always tried to push back the divine realization as much as possible to maintain their hold upon the world as long as possible. That struggle seems now to have come to a head at last. It is their final chance. These forces are not blind or ignorant forces merely. They are conscious beings behind them. They know that it is their last chance. Therefore, they are putting forth all their will and strength as much as they can, and what they can is very great. They are not at all like human beings with their small consciousness and smaller power, to which they appear formidable, and even as divine forces, not only in the measure of their power, but in their consciousness too. They are engaged in a tremendous battle upon this earth, for it is upon this earth that the victory has to be won, the victory that will decide the course of earth's future. Those whose heart leaps up, who hold their head high just when things become specially dangerous, will have their full satisfaction. It is now the occasion to surmount oneself, stated our Divine Mother on 31st December 1954. The victory. The Lord has filled and taught us execute. A new light shall break upon earth, a new world shall be born, and the things that thy promise shall be fulfilled. Lord, thou hast willed and I execute. A new light breaks upon the earth, a new world is born, the things that were promised are fulfilled. Our Divine Mother says the manifestation of the supramental upon earth is no more a promise but a living fact, a reality. It is at work here, and one day will come when the most blind, the most unconscious, even the most unwilling shall be obliged to recognize it. Open yourself to the new light that has dawned upon earth, and a luminous path will spread in front of you, says our Divine Mother.